G'day everyone, it's me, the Anti-Theocrat, back with another one. Before I go into the main content, it's a quick sales pitch. It's the only one you're getting, so enjoy it. Below these videos, I do attach all links to the information if there are links to be had. I also archive all of the information if that's possible. I also supply links to other platforms for my content and how to support me if you wish to do so. That'd be nice, but no requirement. That's it. That's my intro. That's my sales pitch. It's all I've got. It's all you're ever going to get. And now, on with the show. So, I'm doing another one today. I promised myself I was not going to do any more today, but Democrat US has, the Democrat USA has come up again. Now, I've already done a video on the first one, but I haven't uploaded it. So I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to link it to this story, because really, how is anyone voting for the Democrats at this point? How is anybody thinking this is a good option? All right. First story off the ranks, because we all know and have been hearing about all the people running from California and other Democrat-run places, but I hadn't heard this one, so I thought it worth covering. And given my other story comes from the same crappy online entertainment magazine, why not? Gene Simmons selling long-time mansion to escape unacceptable California taxes. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen the charts, I think California 62% and New York 62 and 62.5 depending on city or state. Seriously, are you just working for other people? Where is the drive to strive for greater and bigger things if all you're doing is working to put money in other people's pockets? I mean, at least half of the money you earn has to be yours. It's ridiculous. Otherwise, look, you can't just say to people you're going to earn half of what you're earning and we're going to take the other half. So they have to be able to earn this amount of money, but then for you to take it after they've earned it, look, I get it. A taxation system exists. A taxation system, as far as I'm concerned, has to exist. There are things that without a taxation system we would not have. And I know there are people out there that say tax is theft. But trust me, I live in outback Australia. I would not have some of the lovely roads that I have out here if it wasn't for mines convincing governments to build infrastructure to support their businesses, right? So this is something that happens between my taxation system and capitalism, which you're all down on. You're all down on the capitalism and you're all down on taxation. Well, fuck you. I think the two sometimes work hand in hand to improve my life. Seriously, nobody would bitumize the roads out here if it wasn't for the fact that corporations, whether it's the truckers or the mines, want the highway access. And, well, we get a little bit of extra for ourselves on that. So, yeah, Gene Simmons is the latest that I've heard of leaving California because of taxes. Gene Simmons has put his long-time Beverly Hills mansion on the market for $22 million, citing California's unacceptable tax rates as a reason for his move. If he's lucky, they won't tax him on the sale more than 62%. Bloody hell. Tax rates as a reason for the move. Yes, after 34 years at the home, the Kiss rocker and his wife Sharon are heading to Washington State. Well, at the moment, I think that's actually one of the lower ones. I think you're fair there. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer purchased the Beverly Hills home in 1986 for $1.34 million, and while he has since put millions of dollars into the renovations and upgrades, the $22 million he's seeking should net him a nice profit. Well, that's if the state doesn't fucking take it all in tax. The estate was featured prominently on his family's A&E reality show, Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, which aired in 2006 or 2004. None of that matters. I know this is an entertainment thing, and I know they're going to pull all that shit. The real estate pictures, 22 million estate. You're going to keep pumping that? Shows a decadent home with a tennis court, a pool, and a giant slide, and parking for 35 cars. Well, half his luck for affording it. But why does that mean he should give 62% of it to you? Anyway, that was just story one off the bat here, so let's have a look, shall we? Where was story two? Not that one, we covered that one. We're doing this one. Oh, yes. Rudy Giuliani caught on camera attempting to seduce Borat's 15-year-old daughter. Except none of that headline is true, as we shall discover. And I know other people have since covered this. I covered it before anyone else, and I didn't put it up because I didn't like what I'd got out of it. So let's go back, shall we? The new Borat movie features Donald Trump's personal attorney in a compromising situation. Well, yes, it can be spun that way, right? And your headline is spinning that, isn't it? And that's what Borat was spinning too. But none of it was true. Did Sacha Baron Cohen just save democracy? No. At the very least, he embarrassed the shit out of Donald Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Well, hang on. This went from being caught on camera attempting to seduce a 15-year-old to being embarrassed. Embarrass the shit out of. Which is it? You can't keep your story straight in the first fucking sentence. In a bid to resuscitate Donald Trump's floundering presidential campaign, which I do not think is true, I think that is a spin of media like you, the former New York City mayor has spent the last few months digging up dirt on Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Actually, the story is that that drive came from a computer technician. And apparently all of that story has been verified, including information on the drive. He didn't have to go hunting for it. In fact, the FBI have come out and agreed that they have this material and it is legitimate, although they seem to have been sitting on it, which is why it was given to Mr. Giuliani, or given into hands that would reach him. I don't know if it was given direct to him. But in any case, I don't think he went digging up this. I don't think he went hunting it. The release might have been timely, but nothing else about it is true. Well, you didn't say that he'd released it timely, so that's my truth that I'm adding to your bullshit. He's gone as far as to claim without evidence, no, sorry, verifiable evidence, that he is in the possession of raunchy photos and videos involving Hunter Biden and underage girls. Actually, he's claiming to be in possession of a damn sight more than that. So don't overlook that, will you? A hell of a lot of corruption and money using the Biden name and position is what's being claimed. The photos were like the third or fourth release of information, weren't they? But in Cohen's Borat's subsequent movie film, okay, it's Giuliani who is seen engaging in such promiscuous activity. Or is he? Or is he? No, spoilers are ahead. I don't give a fuck, right? Because I'm not watching this shit, and I doubt anyone's watching this shit if they've got half a fucking brain. I think the Borat character was a bore the first time. I got some laughs out of it, but really, it was... Oh, God. I know it was funny. I know bits of it were funny, but it was a bit fucking overplayed. Towards the end of the film, 24-year-old actress Maria Balakova, and we will remember 24-year-old actress, won't we? Playing the role of Borat's 15-year-old daughter, Tata, sits down for an interview with Giuliani. Yes, but she didn't present as 15 to Giuliani, did she? She presented as a 24-year-old journalist asking questions. That's what she presented as. She didn't say, come to my hotel, I'm 15. No. The presentation that he received was, I'm a journalist and I would like to ask you some questions. Anyway, sits down for an interview with Giuliani in New York City hotel room. After she gins him up with a series of compliments and red meat questions related to China, okay, whatever, she invites Giuliani into the next room for a drink. Okay, fair enough. And at this point, maybe the old bugger was hoping for a blowjob. I don't really care. She was presenting as a 24-year-old reporter, and if he thought he was getting a blowjob from a 24-year-old reporter, that's his business, and if he's married, his wife's business. Nobody fucking else. He's not in government anymore. He is a legal advisor. An attorney. Whatever the fuck you want to call him. You're just trying to dirty him because you... This is trying to shoot the messenger, right? He has dirt on a presidential campaigner. Someone wanting to be president of the USA who's as dirty as fuck. Who through 45 odd years or so of politics has done fuck all with his life except make money. So this is just well, we'll get to it. We will get to it. You say it. It's in here. Giuliani sits on the bed and begins to touching Tatar's back. She removes his microphone and Giuliani untucks his shirt and reaches into his trousers. Is that what happened? I ask because I have covered this already. And I know you're going to fucking twist this a different way. Or not twist it. You're going to fucking lay out the truth, aren't you? So far, this is the twist. Borat, wearing a red bra and panties, then bursts into the room and yells, "She's 15, she's too old for you, please take me instead." Giuliani promptly exits the room and Borat and Tatar are then seen running down the sidewalk to the wail of police sirens. Whether they were actually being chased, whether those police sirens for them or not, I don't know, but who gives a fuck. Update. Giuliani addressed the incident during a radio interview on Wednesday, via the Daily Beast, because that's important. As Giuliani tells it, he was simply tucking in his shirt after removing his microphone. He also claims that the clip is doctored. It is not. Oh, you think, do you? You know that. You're sure of that. I would argue that I can prove to you, in your words, that there's a chance this was doctored. And it's a hit job in response to his investigation into Hunter Biden. Yes, it fucking is. It certainly is. That's exactly why they targeted him this way. That's exactly why they sent a 24-year-old actress to behave like she was a serious journalist, then screech that she was 15, and set him up this way. But we will learn more about this hit job. More is to come. They'll do anything. They attack me over every possible over everything possible. Investigated every business dealing I've ever had, Giuliani said. And now the idiot Borat is going after me with a totally sensationalized false account of a ridiculous movie I guess he's done. I agree. In the scene, which has been seen by Consequence of Sound, that's these people, so I don't give a fuck, because I know they keep fucking twisting their story. They can't keep their story straight. They want me to believe that they've seen this thing and they're telling me the fucking truth, but they can't keep their story straight. Giuliani can be heard telling Tata, "Come here," as they enter the bedroom. And this is where the edit is. Because he might have been saying, "Come here," to help me get my microphone off. And there's a reason why I say this. He then sits on the bed and asks for her phone number and address, and begins touching her back. I don't know about that order of things, and maybe he was expecting a blowjob from a 24-year-old. I don't know. I don't care. The phone number and address probably because she has just done an interview with him. He wants to have some record of who he was interviewed by. I don't know. Maybe, again, he was hoping for a blowjob by a 24-year-old. Not my business. At this point, Tata untucks Giuliani's shirt. Do we remember the order of events before? Because before, it was Giuliani untucked his shirt. But now we find that Tata untucks Giuliani's shirt and removes his microphone. So, if you were looking for something that was a setup, she half undressed him to remove his microphone so that he would have to respond to that by redressing himself. And she's been sent in to cause exactly this scene. This scene didn't just come out of its own accord. This is what she was paid to do. Giuliani responds by laying on his back. Then he puts his hand down his pants for several seconds. Look, I'm only in my 50s. I've got a torn meniscus in one knee. Sometimes I find it easier to lay on a bed and tuck a fucking shirt in, not that I do that very often, than to stand up. Sometimes I find it easier to, do certain things without putting pressure on my knee. Giuliani's older than me. It may just be an old man responding to having his shirt untucked. But you're playing this as if he's fucking playing with himself. I'm telling you now, there is a photo later on in this, and it does not look like that. He looks like an old man tucking his shirt in. At no point does the scene cut in any such a way as to suggest editing or doctored. No, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it is run through. But maybe there is some audio taken out of context. Giuliani previously disclosed his run-in with Borat over the summer, but he failed to mention the part of him attempting to seduce an underage girl in a hotel room. He wasn't. If he was expecting a blowjob from a 24-year-old, he was not seducing an underage girl in a hotel room. Whether he wished to discuss with you his wanting to get a blowjob is not his business. And maybe he's a fucking innocent party. Because, as you have made clear, she untucked his shirt, forcing him into a position where he had to tuck himself back in. A man of his age, wearing a suit, likes to have a tucked-in shirt. And he doesn't want to look like he's just been getting a blowjob in a hotel room. So, at this point, we can assume he wasn't hoping to get a blowjob because he was tucking himself back in instead of undressing. This is all a fucking beat up. All of it. Giuliani told the New York Post, page 6, does it matter which page? I don't know, that he went to the Mark Hotel in Manhattan for what he believed was a serious interview. Yes, with a 24-year-old reporter. He said the woman initially sat down with the former mayor and asked him a few softball questions before Cohen came running in wearing a crazy, what I would call pink transgender outfit. Right, so fair enough. And yeah, I got no problem with that. Exactly what happened. And it had nothing to do with underage girls. Believing it was a scam or a shakedown, Giuliani said he called the police. By the time the NYPD officer arrived, Cohen had run away. Yeah, and maybe that's the sirens, or maybe they were edited in. Who the fuck knows at this point? Because this is all spin and lies, and this was spun to create a situation because of the Biden investigation. Giuliani claimed he later realized who the man who interrupted the interview was none other than Cohen. I thought about all the people he previously fooled, and I felt good about myself because he didn't get me. Well, that's it. He got an old man redressing himself. Unfortunately for Rudy, it definitely didn't come off that way on camera. No, it didn't come off in the way you've spun it. So, to recap, Rudy Giuliani Donald Trump's go-to man for digging up the dirt on the Bidens. No, I don't think that this is the way it is. I think that the Bidens created their own fucking dirt, and the timing for the release was just convenient. Was caught engaging in the very same behaviour that they accused Hunter Biden of. No, he fucking wasn't. He was not naked with his cousins, or whatever the fuck the photos show. That's what I'm led to believe they show. Hunter Biden in what can be described as interesting photos with family members. That's the latest I've heard. And in an attempt to get in front of the incident, Giuliani fed misinformation to the New York Post. No. You are feeding the misinformation. You are feeding the story this was meant to show. Here's the picture that I was referring to. This is an old man tucking his shirt in, because it's easier than standing up. Look how fucking soft that bed is. Shit of a thing to stand up from. This 24-year-old woman is nowhere near him. There's nothing sexual going on. He's not undoing his fly or anything. We know from your own account that she untucked him, although you did try to present it as he untucked himself at the start. Absolute fucking bullshit. You can't even spin your own story and keep it straight. In the same fucking article, you've bullshitted two different ways. Yeah. Giuliani fed me. Yeah, no. The same New York Post that also published alleged emails from Hunter Biden. No. The emails, the email addresses, information about those files has been verified. You don't get the fucking alleged anymore. I think we're past alleged. That Rudy happened to come across on a wet laptop. No, he didn't. It was brought to his off. He was given this information because the FBI appeared to be sitting on it. That's the story. You don't get to fucking spin this some other way. This is the official story. There are all sorts of people checking this information, and so far it all seems legit. It's only fucking soft cocks like you who want to pretend this is something else. The whole thing is a clown show and would be absolutely hysterical if it not were the fact that 40% of America refuses to see the tomfoolery right before their eyes. That would be the Borat audience that you're talking about. That's what you'd be talking about here. It would be a fucking clown show if people didn't believe it. But nothing you've shown here. In fact, you have undermined your own story. But this woman is 24. This woman is not undressed. She's in no state of undress. She doesn't look like she's being sexual or interested in the man on the bed. The man on the bed is an elderly man on a soft bed who she untucked his shirt while getting his microphone off. It is something that actually happens. And you do find yourself in a position of having to redress yourself. None of this is what you are pinning it down as. And the reason this really pissed me off, this story, is this showed up on my Facebook feed from some fucking idiot Democrat supporter who just couldn't fucking read the article. And when I pointed out that the article itself spun an entirely different story than the one it was presenting, they couldn't, I was just laughed off, I'm just some fool. But I've shown you how they wrote this story. Nobody reads past the first few paragraphs anymore. Nobody. Few people read past the headline. So this is all some people will read. And when you get down here and you find out that this is a 24-year-old woman who was a paid actress and was presented to Giuliani as a reporter asking serious questions, this changes the whole fucking story. But nobody reads more than this. Nobody anymore reads more than this. And in this, what you've done is spin a story that is absolute fucking bullshit and undermined by your later writing. It pisses me off that people can't see through this shit. Oh, one last thing came to mind while I was eating my dinner after having recorded the first part. There is no way that a man in the position that they had placed this one in thought he was doing any wrong, thought that he was going to have sexual relations with a younger woman who might place him in a difficult position, or with a 15-year-old in a hotel room, if he went ahead and called the police, thinking that he was being scammed. There is no way that if he thought he was in a bad position, he would have called the police. He would have just disappeared and hoped it went away. The fact that he called the police shows he's an innocent man. I just had to put that out there because it just played on my mind. The police came. He called the police. You know no fucking pedophile is calling the police. You know no man with a husband who's in an awkward position is calling the police. So, yeah, I just thought I'd put this in before I shut the video, before I went ahead and rendered this video. I hope that adds to, someone's perspective on things. And that's it. I've had enough. I'm going. I do not want to do this anymore. I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. I've been the anti-theocrat. May your gods remain fictional. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, have fun.